Alright, hello everybody. This is going to be a pretty basic free play file, movement, and tech guide. Kind of things to get started, things to know before you start running free play categories. So, the first thing that you need to do is buy the right characters. So after you've completed all the story levels, you'll have every character up until Vader. So all these ones down here, everything after Vader you need to purchase. Ignore this one, this is just a meme. But big ones are Droideka, Grievous, and Ghost Yoda. And Boba. Those are the ones you absolutely need to even go fast. But you also want to purchase Gonk. You don't technically need Emperor, but it is a little faster in some cases. Same thing with Magna Guard, or I guess Grievous Bodyguard. Only faster in some cases. And then you want to buy every Jedi. So we got all the Jedi here. Mace Windu from episode 3, and then all the Ghost Jedi. You want to purchase all of those. So, for every free play split, you're going to select Droideka and Yoda. Alright, so once you've got all the characters, there's very specific extras you need to buy as well. So you need to buy Extra Toggle, Super Gonk, Super Slap, Force Grapple Leap, Perfect Deflect, EBB, Vehicle Spark Bomb, Super Jedi Slam, Super Thermal Detonator, Deflect Bolts, Super Blasters, Fast Force, Super Lightsabers, Invincibility, Fast Build, Super Ewok Catapult, and Infinite Torpedoes. Those are the big ones. Alright, so for your input device for free play, I would highly recommend playing on controller. Obviously, if it's up to your preference, you can play on keyboard. But on controller, you get more angles for certain clips, and you also get double switches, which I'll talk about in a bit. And then for binds, I would also just highly recommend playing on the default binds. Switching the face buttons isn't really that big of a deal, but you don't really want to mess with the triggers or bumpers. Alright, so let's get into triple jumping, probably the biggest tech in free play. So all you need to triple jump is a character with a lightsaber or a character that can slam. Basically, you're going to slam and switch right after you slam. So if I slam here, I'll gain way more height than I would if I didn't switch. And it's just a switch right after a slam. You can kind of see that on the input viewer. And you can triple jump left or right. Left is Droideka, and right is, in this level it's Gonk, but normally it's a Jedi or a Sith or whatever. Some Force user. But normally, when you triple jump right, you'll get way more distance than when you triple jump left. Triple jumping left is useful for gaining a lot of height. You can still gain a lot of height triple jumping right, but it's not nearly as much as triple jumping left. And if you always have Droideka on left, you'll always get a lot of height triple jumping left. So another thing I want to go over with free play tech is double switches, and this kind of pertains to triple jumping as well. So say I triple jump right, and when I land, I want to switch to Droideka as fast as I can. If you have default binds on, you can actually use the triggers and the bumpers to switch. What this allows you to do is, instead of just pressing the same button over and over again, you can actually press both of these and just switch incredibly fast. So if I triple jump right, and then just hit my trigger and the bumper, I'll switch to Droideka way faster than if I press one of these buttons twice. And this is also very useful if you're playing as Droideka and you need to hit an R2 panel really fast, because R2 is 2 switches away. So if I'm coming up here and I need an R2 panel, I got it right there, as opposed to that. So very small, minor time save, but it is there. Alright, next thing I want to go over is animation cancels. This is a little bit trickier than triple jumping, but it is something that people mess up on a lot and kind of get the wrong interpretation of. So I just kind of want to clear some things up with that. So basically an animation cancel is say we're playing as Droideka and we want to fire a shot, right? Every time Droideka fires a shot here, he has this little animation of him stopping, pulling his shield out, and then firing. This is obviously very slow, because if I need to shoot something, I don't want to stop like this. Right? So to counteract this, we shoot, and then switch to a player and switch back. What this allows you to do is kind of fire with Droideka and keep that momentum that you want. You can kind of chain them. Once you get really good at it, you can just do it everywhere extremely fast. Now, an important thing about animation canceling is that you do not want to go from right to left. You want to go from left to right. This is important because when you switch from Yoda back to Droideka, because of Yoda's weird hitbox in this game, sometimes when you switch back to Droideka, he actually won't be on the ground. Let's see if I can do this. So you can kind of see how when I go, it's kind of hard for me to do because I'm not used to it, but when I go from right to left, Droideka's kind of hopping a little bit. That's because he's not fully on the ground. When I go from left to right, he's always fully on the ground. So when you animation cancel from left to right, you can go much faster than going from right to left, just because Droideka has to be on the ground to shoot. And in some cases, when you switch from right to left, he won't be. It might be hard to get used to switching from left to right at first, but trust me, it won't take that long, and it'll be much better for you in the long run. Alright, so another very important free play tech is wall climbing. This is very specific, and it's not really used that much in the run, but it is an important skill to know if you're going to run free play. So basically, to wall climb, you do need Grievous. There's a couple levels in free play where we actually take Grievous instead of Yoda, and then in some cases, you can actually just get him on your character wheel and use him to wall climb to save a couple seconds there, but that's pretty rare. Anyways, how to actually wall climb. It is kind of challenging, so the input viewer will be really helpful here. But it basically looks like this. Show it again. So basically you want to jump and switch. Just like a triple jump, right? And you'll see when I triple jump and switch back to Grievous, he kind of like stops in the air for a little bit. So the reason this happens is because when you switch back to Grievous, his hitbox is actually rather large. And so it kind of gets stuck in the wall a little bit. So if you actually jump while he's falling like that, you'll actually be able to get another jump. And it's important that when you wall climb, you're actually holding neutral when you do the triple jump, and then when you're the other player, so for example, this is Commander Cody. When I switch to Commander Cody, I actually want to go into the wall a little bit. So you'll kind of see, when I'm Cody, my stick is moving forward, and when I'm Grievous, I'm holding neutral. The main reason for this is if we hold neutral the entire time, Grievous won't actually get stuck in the wall because Commander Cody isn't pushing into the wall, which would force Grievous's hitbox to kind of land on the collision inside the wall. And if you just hold into the wall the whole time, Grievous will actually just fall down when you switch. He'll get stuck there, but he'll just fall down as you won't be able to jump. So it's important to only hold forward when you're Commander Cody. This lets you get insane amounts of height in some areas, and even allowing you to like skip some parts. Like, for example, if I don't want to do this whole puzzle to get into this room, and I don't have Yoda to just clip into, I can just wall climb up here, and then wall climb off this thing, and then I can just hit this transition. It is important to know that you can't just wall climb on any surface. They're very specific surfaces. Like, I probably won't be able to wall climb off this. Yeah. It really just entirely depends on the surface, and it's kind of random which surfaces work and which ones don't. Let's see if I can... I think there's one right here. Yeah, and sometimes like right here, I can't go that high. He'll just fall, but I can get one. So it's very situational, but it is useful at some points in the free play run. Alright, so I'm going to briefly go over Yoda clipping. This will be on a more level-to-level basis, as pretty much every Yoda clip is slightly different. But this is kind of just a general rundown of how to Yoda clip. So basically, you need Yoda, obviously. It doesn't really matter who are your characters on your left and right, but if you're Yoda, you'll usually always have Droideka. And then you'll have some random player on the right. But basically, how you Yoda clip is it's pretty much just a triple jump through a ceiling. So if I go right here and triple jump, I can actually just go over that ceiling. And a lot of them are very different, as you can see. Like this one, that one is really weird. Thankfully, we don't have to do that one anymore. But like right here, I can clip through that ceiling just like that. The important thing to know about Yoda clipping is that the timings for all of them are very different. So if you're having trouble with one, probably just look towards that specific levels tutorial, and you'll learn a lot more there. Like this Yoda clip is vastly different from the first two or first three or whatever that I just did. Same with this one, it's just completely different. But yeah. Alright, so the last really small thing that I want to go over is extremely easy and saves a ton of time in any free play category. So basically, when you have Yoda in a level, it's much faster to, when you go through a transition, to be Yoda slashing through it. The reason for this is if I just enter this as Droideka, you kind of have to wait a little bit before you can move, right? I mean, as you can see right here, I can't move right away. But if I'm Yoda slashing, I can move right away. Obviously, if I just enter with Yoda and don't Yoda slash, I'll have the same problem as Droideka, where I just don't move. But you can attack when you're in an idle spot. You can also jump. But that doesn't get us distance. So every transition you go through, it's faster to Yoda slash and then just switch to Droideka right after. It saves like 0.7 or 0.8 for most transitions. Altogether saving like 50 seconds in a free play run. So definitely worth your time to just do it instead of just not doing it. But yeah, that is the free play movement tech guide. And feel free to check out each individual levels tutorial to get a more in-depth analysis on each level.